Arab contributions to civilization. The years between the 7th and the 13th centuries mark a period in history when culture and learning flourished in North Africa, Asia, Southern Europe, and the Middle East. When one sets aside the politics, mistrust, and suspicion, one finds that the Arab world continued to spin out the thread of the earliest recorded civilization. It enhanced and developed the arts and sciences and preserved the libraries of the early centuries of the Greek, Roman, and Byzantine cultures. Indeed, during the Dark Ages of Europe, much learning was preserved for the world through the Arab libraries in the universities of Monaco, Mali, and Egypt. From this period of Arab influence, new words such as orange, sugar, coffee, sofa, satin, and algebra flitted into the languages of Europe and eventually into our own. New discoveries were made in the sciences and arts which improved our daily lives, and thousands of the Arab contributions have become a part of human civilization. Mathematics.
The Arab surf, or what we call today the zero, gave us the opportunity for more mathematical problems and also a decimal system. One of the first examples of Arabic numerals and the number zero was written in a Spanish Latin text written about 986 AD. Things like multiplying, dividing, even simply adding and subtracting will be extremely complicated using just Roman numerals. The bigger the number got, the longer and the longer the Roman numerals would go. The Arabic number system made everything easier, especially counting money and doing simple everyday things. The mathematician Al-Kahashimi introduced the idea of algebraic balancing and reduction, which allowed a more general way of analyzing and figuring out problems, instead of specific problems used by the Indians and the Chinese. Al-Kahashimi was a big contribution to modern-day math. Algebra was thought of with religion in mind. With a more accurate method, the Quran would be more carefully obeyed and the division between the lands would be more precise. The Quran itself encouraged Muslim knowledge. Islamic science and math was revitalized throughout the 9th century and the 15th century, which we think of it today as the Golden Islamic Age. In this age, many Muslim scholars flourished with new concepts and new discoveries of math and science, making our everyday life easier. An Arab named Abdul Hassan wrote a text using decimals instead of the use of fractions in the 10th century, in which was the earliest text known to us using decimals, period. In the 13th century, an astronomer, scientist, and mathematician, Alicia al-Din al-Tus, was the first to treat trigonometry as a math concept instead of a part of astronomy. He built off early works from the Greek and Indian scholars. Alicia al-Din al-Tus was also famous for listing the 6 distinct cases of a right triangle in the spherical trigonometry. You could say that Muslims invented algebra, calligraphy, astronomy, geometry, and the modern numerical system.
Medicine. In the field of medicine, the Arabs improved upon the healing arts of ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. Al-Razi, a medical encyclopedia of the 9th century, was an authority on contagion. Among his many volumes of medical surveys, perhaps the most famous is the Kaba al-Marazi. It was used in Europe until the 16th century. Al-Razi was the first to diagnose smallpox and measles, to associate these diseases and others with human contamination and contagion, and to introduce new remedies. The famous scientist-philosopher known in Europe as Alicia was Ibn Sina, an Arab. He was the greatest writer of medicine in the Middle Ages, and his canon was required reading throughout Europe until the 17th century. Avicenna's most important work of philosophy and science is Kitab al-Shifa, which is a 4-part encyclopedia covering logic, physics, mathematics, and metaphysics. Arabs also had contributions with navigation and geography. The medieval Arabs improved upon ancient navigation practices with the development of a magnetic needle in the 9th century. They were very adventurous people, and they did know that the world was in fact round. In conclusion, we can really say that Arabs really did contribute a lot of things to make math and science what it is today.